Hello everybody, it's that college football guy here with another video. Well, kind of responding to a few comments I got on the video from yesterday about, I've said this before, but apparently might need to say it again. Okay, first off, I surmise that if the SEC expands, their wish list is North Carolina, Florida State, and Clemson. Now, North Carolina and Florida State possibly may want to go to the Big Ten. That's a possibility. And North Carolina coming with it without a partner. I've had, that was Jansen Roberts suggested that UNC would have to come in with a partner, UVA, NC State, somebody. Everybody I know in the SEC, I mean, they're fans, nobody in the know, but everybody, they're not going to take anybody with that. And if it's North Carolina has to come in with Virginia, what money does Virginia bring? Virginia doesn't bring anything unless you're an academic institution. Then they bring in money. That's the Big Ten. I've had the feeling that if North Carolina most likely is going to be ending up in if the ACC implodes, North Carolina will be ending up in the Big Ten, possibly with Duke or Virginia or somebody. And I figured it might be NC State. The SEC wants a team in North Carolina. And it's North Carolina or NC State. And if they don't get those two, then they might just decide to lock down Kentucky and get Louisville. And just solve it that way. But we'll see about that. I mean, Jansen also had an idea about the fact about if they expanded 20 to 24 teams where they have their own playoff. There is something that I brought this up in a video, oh my goodness, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, a while back, that some people who were at the state legislative level that I managed to, your rep comes in to talk to someone talk college football, and he had the idea that a lot of other them had the same thing, that maybe ought to be put up in front of Congress. You want to secede from the NCAA? You lose your academic accreditation to do it. What that means is your degrees that you produce, the strip mall down at the corner is worth more than yours is. Strip them of their academic accreditation, which means that degree from Oklahoma, the degree from Alabama becomes monogrammed toilet paper. It's worthless. And I could, unfortunately, if that did happen, I could see a company doing the following scenario. Hey, Mr. Smith, how you doing today? Doing good, sir. How you doing? Well, saw a little thing there that your university lost its academic accreditation to try to make more money in football. Yeah, not the brightest of ideas. Like, yeah, I agree with you on that, but there's a problem now. What's that, sir? Well, because your university is no longer academically accredited, that degree that's behind you on your office wall is now worthless. And this job requires a degree in whatever field from an accredited university. And unfortunately, sir, you don't qualify anymore. Well, I worked in this company for 10 years. I know, sir, but rules are rules. So unfortunately, we're going to have to let you go. I could see a company doing that, gets rid of the older staff to save on money as an excuse, because that's exactly what it would be, an excuse. But I could see it happening. And there are a lot of people out there I've talked to who were saying the same thing. And you really think about it, a booster for the university, who one of the proudest things he does is he loves his university, is that degree on the wall. If that becomes worthless, and that means they become worthless, how fast would they use their money to find out what genius came up with it and make sure their life was pretty much destroyed? Or have their nameplate yanked off the wall and thrown out of the university's offices for agreeing to do it? You think it'd ever get that far? I don't. Everybody says the university's greed. But the university's greed is tied to the booster's greed. And if the boosters are going to lose money because of what you do, they'll get rid of you to find someone to make sure that they don't get ruined. Money makes the world go round, but you're forgetting which money. Because the boosters are the ones pushing the universities to get to a bigger conference, to bring in more money, so that way they don't have to pay as much. That's also part of this. And so the fact that you're going to do something that's going to discredit them, you think they'll ever let that happen? You want to solve the problem of universities seceding from the NCAA? Make that law. It's not law now. It's been scuttlebutted around and rumored, apparently. But if they made that happen, that expansion would never happen. Because no one in any power would allow it, because that means their reputations would be ruined. And people in power, their reputation is everything. So there's no way they'd let that happen. You want to stop it? That's the way to do it. As for the idea, and Jansen had another idea about, actually I mentioned it in his comment, about if they went to 20 teams, is another scheduling option. I said the only other scheduling option that there's possibly is, instead of the 5-5-5 format, if they went, that's for 18 teams, if they went to 20, is there one? Well, is there a way to do a scheduling format? Well, there is, but it sucks, and the SEC will never do it. Because a 20-team conference is you and 19 opponents. The way this works is you have to have one guaranteed rival a year. That makes it 18. That means 9 one year and 9 the other. They are fighting tooth and nail about having to play 9 games. You ever think they're going to agree to play 10? Not a chance. No way. If 19 means the fact that they get to go have then keep their 8-game schedule and expand, that's the best of both worlds. The only way they would get up enough to keep their 8-game schedule would be if they had 24. And the SEC doesn't want to do. SEC realistically doesn't want to go any further north than Kentucky and any further west than Texas. That's it. They want to stay in the Southeast. They don't want to go to New York. They don't really. Virginia is kind of iffy territory. I mean, I talked to some of the diehard fans I know from Alabama, from Georgia, from Tennessee, and they said, you guys got Clemson, Florida State, North Carolina, would you consider adding anybody else? And they said the same thing I said. Unless the only thing they'll expand for is if Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Michigan want to join, then they'll let them in outside the footprint. Other than that, nobody else. Because nobody else is worth the money. That's when everybody says, okay, you're worth 24. I did a video a while back on this. I'm going to have to probably redo it again. That a university's revenue, you come into a conference to make the conference money. How much money have you made on the average over the last 5 years? Now, that average money you make over the last 5 years, if you're coming into if you're the one coming into a 16-team Big Ten or SEC, that means you have to make $17 million more average per year than the SEC average. Because $17 million more per year than the SEC average means everybody else's money goes up by just $1 million. If you want that to go up 5, we're talking $85 million. And with exposure, that money would go up even higher. So the SEC average, I think, is like 96 million, 86 million. I think maybe 86 million. So you're talking 103 million a year on average over 5 years. There's SEC and Big Ten schools that don't even make that much. And we say this is all about greed, right? Greed's making all of this happen, right? You think any of them are going to take a pay cut to bring somebody in? Not a chance. If you don't bring in more money, you're not being talked about. And realistically, the ones who bring in the most money, North Carolina, Clemson, Florida State. Louisville's actually on the outside coming in. They have really been improving theirs. They might come back in. NC State's borderline. Miami is getting better, but they're borderline. But for sure, Clemson, Florida State, North Carolina, Notre Dame, like that's a shock to anybody. Excuse me. Washington and Oregon. West Virginia is making good money, but they're not at that level yet. So you're looking at doing all this, right? If those are the schools that make enough money, just say those schools. Say we throw in NC State, we throw in Miami, we throw in West Virginia, we throw in Louisville with UNC, Clemson, Florida State, Notre Dame, Washington, Oregon. That's 10. That would bring the SEC and the Big Ten to 21, not 24. And that's if they pan out. The ones for sure that make money, Washington, Oregon, Notre Dame, Clemson, Florida State, North Carolina. That's 3 per. That's 19 teams. This isn't as easy as you think it is, folks. Also had Charant. Was Charant anything on there? SEC made a comment. SEC isn't going void in Virginia. I asked him what he meant about it. I don't know what going void in Virginia means. Do I think that they will go? He thinks maybe I'm interpreting it, and if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. That Virginia, they're going to go into Virginia. They're not going to go into Virginia unless they can make money. The SEC is the simple fact of the matter is they want to stay in the Southeast. They really don't want to go in the New England area. They don't want to go in the Northeast at all. I mean, North Carolina is about as far north as they want to go. Virginia's too far to reach. It's too far. No. They describe as going to College Station as a pain. At Lexington is a pain. If Lexington is a pain, what do you think Virginia is going to be? It is all about money. But whose money? If you don't make enough money, minimal average per year, well, you can be based this on potential. What the conferences have, including, I'm sure, Brett Yormark and the Big 12. They have what your university has made every year for the last 10 years, broken down by, I'm sure, by demographic, and they have all that information. Information that we as the public, we do not have. Now, there could be more universities on the list that can say this scheme has a predictionary to make more money. But that doesn't mean they will. So in the end, what I think is going to happen, I do think the SEC is going to expand. I think it's going to be that 3 teams. Now, the third team may change. I mean, Florida State, the people in Florida State say they want to go to the Big Ten. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Clemson wants in the SEC. Florida State, okay, fine. And the thing is that universities are on there, they talk about this, and I've heard from a couple of the local high school football players. It's cool, though, that you get to go to Florida State and all that. You're at Florida State and all that, but going to SC twice, having to go to maybe Oregon, go all the way to Ohio, you're not going to be home with family. If I'm going there, my family can't get in the car and go drive. They have to get on a plane. They're not going to do that. I'm in the SEC. Everything's a car ride. It's more based for family. And that still matters to some people. But you let me know your thoughts down in the comments about all of this. So thanks, everybody, for watching the video. I was going to go in about Mike. Josh Pate did a great video about Mike Florio's take on Nick Saban and NIL. That was funny to watch. Mr. Florio is a great reporter, but I think he missed this one. But that's my take. But I had a thought about NIL a while back, which was simply what I thought should have been done in the first place, was that an NIL collective wanted to come into college football You figure out an amount, whatever it is, 2,000, 5,000, 10, whatever it is, for every athlete in the athletic department. That includes the swim team, the lacrosse team, women's basketball, women's tennis, golf, everything. You pay that amount to every athlete in the university's athletic department. All of them. That gives you the right to negotiate exclusive deals with other athletes. I mean, I figured the higher end ones like would be something that would matter. Would be, I said, was like 30 to 40% of what a semester's tuition would cost for an out-of-state student. For the bigger universities, you're talking 15, 20 grand a semester. That could change things. This is the difference between some students coming in who are having to only work in one job instead of two, and some even being able to continue being a student athlete because they're able to still afford to go to school. But fortunately, that never happened either. So thanks everybody for watching the video. As always, please smash the like button. I greatly appreciate it. Comment on the video. We're almost at 400. We're getting there, folks. And subscribe to it for getting there. I'm tired. I'm talking a little tired right now. A little bit of rundown at the end because I parked at a rest area in Georgia. I delivered in Tampa. I was in a rest area in Florida. Excuse me. I parked last night, and idiots were pounding on the doors, trying to wake up a driver to get jumper cables and tools so they could leave. He woke up every driver in the rest area, all 50 of us, and he would not stop until somebody helped him. And so I've gotten very little sleep. I'm tired. I'm probably going to just jump in the bunk, even though it's like, let's see what the time it says on this thing. It says it's 5:18 Eastern time. I'm in Forsyth, Georgia. Just relaxing for a little bit. I may spend the night here, may keep moving, I don't know. Traffic here outside of Atlanta. I mean, I found out traffic-wise, I won't have enough hours to even get through Atlanta, let alone do anything else. Which is kind of terrible. That's what it is. So, anyway, I've done enough rambling. Thanks, everybody, for watching the video. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Knuckleheads are out in force on the road again, so please be safe and please be good to each other.